AFC, AFC, Southside. AFC, 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 Southside. AFC, AFC. Are you ready for the fight? Nighty night, lights out, no Tyson. About to be the clash of the Titans. Strike like a lightning bolt. You feel the ground pounding, that might be the coast. Quick like a joke, like the hit when provoked. Don't you doubt that. That's a Jaguar to a house cat. That's an outcast to a whole squadron. If you talking Houston, then we've got a problem. You'll probably get the horns if you mess with the cattle. Sit back in your saddle and get ready for the fan battle.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We'll give everybody a few minutes to start watching. First comment. Oh, RJ Ellison. It's beard time. We'll get to that in a minute. Leonard Firestone showing off his awesome beard over here.
Looking like the Texas flag over there. Looking beautiful.
I'm kind of upset that this dye works so good on the beard and it shows so well. But yeah.
You should have put a little star right there in the blue. That would be perfect.
I thought about putting a 2 there for you just to let you know about, you losing the first overall.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Well,
that's why I would give up the first overall to beat the Titans. So you thank you. I appreciate it.
That's the sort of pettiness I aspire towards.
You have a secret admirer, Sam.
hello, secret admirer. They're probably commenting in the Facebook group, so whoever you are, hello.
It's Jay
All right,
Ramsey.
let's get this party started. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. My name is Samantha Wernett. We thank you for tuning in on this post-season episode. Normally, by now, we would have passed the wild card weekend, and one of our teams would have been blown out, and we would have all been sitting on the couch, but the Jaguars have held strong and beat the Chargers in a comeback win. Third best so far, and yeah, we'll get into that. That was that was good to see. It was good to see. Introducing our commentators for this evening, representing the playoff contending Jaguars, we have Josh Allen.
That's me.
Representing the Titans, or maybe the Texans tonight. We can't tell by his beard.
No. I got enough Titan stuff around me. We good. I still came to represent.
We have Leonard Firestone.
How's it going?
Representing the Colts, quieter than ever for a change, because he never is. We have Harish Nukala.
Well, not only am I living in Colts hell, I'm living in work hell for the first time in my company's history. So it's been a busy weekend.
Oh, well, we're sorry to hear that. At least you have something to do while you sit on the couch.
Oh, I always have things to do while I sit on the couch. Eat potatoes in the form of chips, fries, poutines. Yeah, there's all sorts of
hashed browns, maybe
hash browns. Yeah. I think tonight we're eating potato buns.
Nice.
Burgers. Yeah, no shit. There's so much time I have to experience variety.
The secret life of a potato.
Yep.
And representing the Texans, we have Matt Briggs.
Come home, D'Amico. That's all I gotta say.
Well, guys, who would have thought going into the divisional round, the Jacksonville Jaguars? Everybody, we'll do a round of applause like we did last week. Everyone, golf clap. Ooh, a slow golf clap. Listen, everybody in America is rooting for the Jaguars right now, except for you fools. Well, especially not the Titans.
Tanner's not. You're going against the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, because he's a Kansas City fan.
That's right.
The only time Tanner comes down and says anything is when the Chiefs are playing. He's just so excited about his beloved Chiefs.
He's just like Flame being a secret Green Bay fan. Yeah.
Tanner's is as confused about his fanhood as Russ in the big group is as confused about his feelings towards Trevor. That's all I'm going to put out there.
But what would you rather have, though? In the AFC South fan battle group, for those of you who aren't members, we have, this all started from the AFC South fan battle group, and would you rather have men talking about Trevor Lawrence or shirtless pics of Derrick Henry that the Titans fans post all off season?
I mean, you're both.
I would
weird.
rather have the shirtless pics of Derrick Henry, to be honest. Like, it's
Do
weird,
what?
man. Because
You-
it's not Jags fans talking about Trevor Lawrence. It's Titans fans that keep talking about how much Trevor Lawrence looks like a pretty lady, and I'm just like,
Oh.
hey man, go thirst after players on your own team, bro.
Well, they
Well,
do. They thirst after Derrick Henry.
Didn't
You
that pretty lady get the broom out? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Looks like she did her work in the kitchen this year.
Right.
Joking.
Oh, was that to me? I don't cook.
I didn't say it was for anybody. It's a comment I made.
RJ,
Well-
it's okay, man. Tweet through it, RJ. That's all I can say.
Tweet through the pain, RJ.
Tweet
Tweet
through it,
through
man.
the pain.
Have you guys seen? Actually, quick side story. Have you guys seen RJ on Twitter? He's like an
Yeah.
NFL analyst on there. It's like the complete- he's,
Well, you have
on-
three sides to RJ Ellison, right? You have AFC South fan battle RJ, who's the delusional Titans fan.
Right.
I guess we'll say 4 sides. Yeah, 4 sides.
Okay.
You have that one. You have proper Twitter football analysis Titans fan RJ on Twitter. On Titans Coliseum, you have slightly homer but still honest RJ on the Titans Coliseum, and then I guess there's only 3. Those
And
are
on
the 3
he-
RJs.
and on here, he's kind of a little bit like John Ha. He's a little negative on here.
He likes to talk about people getting
Yeah.
tickled on here.
Yeah.
He likes tickling.
That was still the
mayonnaise.
best. That was still the best. We went there and tickled them. I'll never get over that episode.
Speaking of Titan Coliseum, guys, if you didn't watch this previous episode, you need to go back and watch Morocco Taylor eat a spoonful of mayo. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah,
What?
just I got mad
Was
respect for Leonard for actually coming through on his bet. You know, big clap for Morocco
Wow.
taking the mayo like a champ. Even though it's not like it's a new thing for Titans fans to be sitting around eating spoonful of mayo. But
Well, yeah, so I
was
will-
hard for me
He
to
does
watch.
love it.
I will say this. So for those of you listening who aren't actually watching our live, currently we have Leonard Firestone on here who lost a bet to Matt Briggs early on in the season, and he has dyed his beard red, white, and blue for the Texans. He looks
Looks
like
fantastic, by the way. Looks
he
fantastic.
looks like he's in the running for the next Texans fan of the year. Like,
Oh,
he looks like he's gonna be an extra in Kid Rock's next video.
he,
He looks like he'd be the next president of that movie Idiocracy.
oh my god.
Oh, man.
Oh,
you know how mascots have like the side mascot who kind of looks like stupid, like Jackson used to have AJ. That's what Leonard looks like right now. Like he'd be like Toro's like
Toro's?
sidekick. That's
Is
what
that,
you
is
look
that
like
the
right
name
now.
of the Titans mascot? Toro?
Little,
Yes.
little bull.
No, the Texans.
The Texans.
Oh,
Little
who's,
bull.
what's the Titans mascot's name? Do they have
T-Rack.
one?
Yeah,
T-Rack?
T-Rack. Yeah. that
Trash can.
Is he
raccoon.
rat?
No, he's
Rat?
a raccoon.
Oh,
R-A-C.
okay. Okay. No, I'll come up with something by the end of the episode.
And RJ says I'm schizophrenic with a laughing face.
I
Yeah.
would be surprised, actually. No, it's not funny. I'm sorry. Dark humor is coming out tonight. My bad.
But yes, you guys should definitely go watch that episode because Morocco, rarely do people actually come through on their bets, but he filled up a spoonful of mayonnaise that he tried to back out of with a toddler spoon, but I called him out.
Yeah, I was
And
about to say he had a nice little surprise for you at first.
not only did he eat it, but he made like this sound like a
A smack?
Yes.
and then
Oh, no.
and then he licked the spoon again.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
like
how you know he's like a Hall of Fame mayonnaise eater.
my eyes started watering. Like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it was bad. It was bad.
It's just dessert every day in Tennessee Titans land. So it's
Oh.
No, it's not. Don't know. That was
I
hard
mean,
for me to watch.
listen,
I don't do
Probably
that.
You-
have ice cream mayonnaise.
You literally saw him. He's like, I go to Sam's Club and I get the 255 pack. Okay, like clearly, like
He
we
gets the
know
little
he just
packets.
we know he just breaks open the little packets and he's like slurping on it, watching the
He
Titans
like
games.
sorts it out and like eats, yeah, you know how like people eat the packets after they're done with it? That's probably what
Yeah.
you guys do.
Probably.
Morocco ate that mayo like he was trying to make an ASMR video.
He did. He did. All right. Well, listen, guys, let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. NFL news, not too much to say. Of course, you know, everybody knows we're in the playoffs. Ravens were eliminated last night. Who else am I thinking of? Trying to rush through.
The Seahawks, the
Vikings did their
Chargers.
normal
The
first
Vikings
round
choked
exit.
it off again. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, you know, of course, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers are currently playing Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. So we'll see what comes of this. And we thank you guys for tuning into this instead of that garbage right now. So let's
18-0 right now at halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cowboys.
but
Me.
Micah just got hurt. I don't know if y'all
Yeah, he
saw
did.
that.
Oh, that's not good.
not
The
good at all.
Cowboys can't make an extra point to save their lives.
No, that
Seriously.
might come and bite him in the butt.
But Mike McCarthy doesn't care. He still goes for them. He never adjusts.
Well, listen, I know that there's only one team that's currently playing, so we'll talk about the Jaguars last. But first, let's jump in to the Texans. Matt Briggs. Any news?
we did some coaching interviews. We interviewed the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to murder it. The defensive coordinator, Gannon, Ben Johnson from the Lions, and also Sean Payton. And there's a lot of rumors swirling around that Sean Payton really wants to come to Houston. So I just don't want to give
Why?
up. I don't know.
But I've heard that same rumor about like 5 teams.
Everybody, right?
Draft capital. Well, so Sean
Right.
Payton went on Colin Cowherd's show and says
Right.
Houston intrigues him because of draft capital. They have
Ah.
11 picks this year.
And it could be more with the Brandon
Could be
Cooks
more.
and
Yeah.
trading back. And I mean, I can see why, but
Would you give up a first and
I
second
know-
round for Sean Payton?
I give the first, second round pick for him. That's it. And Brandon Cooks. But
You would? I would too.
Yeah.
100%.
I would not give neither of my first round picks for him.
Yeah,
at
second
all.
round I could see it.
Yeah.
But not a first.
I'd give him that second first round pick.
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
No. I would not give a first at all. You're not touching
Really?
the first. Nope. Absolutely
Oh,
not.
well, I guess he's not going there then.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm. Why would you want to get rid of draft capital? The thing that intrigues them to get them, you know.
No, that's
I
right.
better.
You guys have
get
Davis Mills. You don't need a quarterback. You're good.
Yeah, Davis Mills.
right.
One
got
of the
those
guys-
deals. We're good. Right. Yeah.
One of the guys at the franchise tag won like a Davis Mills helmet, signed helmet, and he was telling me about it. And I wrote, it probably sounded mean when I wrote it, but I wrote, oof.
I mean, but who else is going to sign it?
I don't know. I mean, he's not a Texans fan at all, but it's something he won through. I don't know how, but the point is, I realized later that was probably mean because he was like, "Yeah, I won the signed helmet," and I was like, "Oh,
That's a punishment. That's not a prize. That's
yeah."
No.
Ask him if you could pay them to keep it.
I mean, or you just send it to me. I would take it. I mean,
How much would I pay for it?
I
Let's do a live
go
auction.
through pain. I go through pain and misery. $1.
$1. Okay, we got one bid.
Sold.
All right, I'll let him know.
Uh,
I think you're
Chris-
bad at bidding on things in auctions. I'm just gonna say that.
Chris Jackson says Peyton said Saints management wants mid to late first round for him. So
well, it doesn't look like he. Well, I mean, if you want to get technical, the second round pick is a late round. So
yeah,
yeah, because the Dolphins
Yeah.
don't have one. But we Thursday we're interviewing D'Amico Ryans from the 49ers. I want either him or Ben Johnson. So let's bring D'Amico home.
all right.
Former Texan great.
Well, I'm sure you'll unpack more of this on Texans Fan Battle. So
Yeah.
when's that airing?
Not really, because we're having the greatest quarterback of all time in Houston, Matt Saab, on tomorrow, Wednesday, 8 Central,
There you go.
and he's gonna come on here.
Heard it here first.
Pretty sure you guys
Not
had
really.
one quarterback that was better than him.
Not
Brock Osweiler.
Matt.
Oh,
David
shit.
Carr.
All right. Well, moving on. The Colts. Harish, you got any updates for us?
Just doing lots of interviews, actually. Chris Ballard had his year-end I guess, season, whatever. So that was whatever. Didn't really care too much about it. But there's, obviously we've done coach interviews. So Bubba Ventrone, our special teams coordinator, the Broncos DC, Chiefs offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. That was interesting. Raheem Norris.
How did you
Ben
feel about that
Johnson.
one specifically?
I'm still like on the fence about him. Like I don't really know whether I like him or whether I don't like him.
That kind of was the same
against him.
last year when people were interviewing him, and I wonder what the hang up
Yeah.
is there. There's got to be something.
I think there's a player relationship issue that I've heard.
Yeah, him
through the
and Patrick
grapevines.
Mahomes hate each other.
And it's one thing for the OC and the quarterback to not like each other, but when you're the head coach and the quarterback doesn't like you, that's how you end up with kickers kicking you or you kicking kickers. So
Wait, so Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid don't like each other?
no, Eric being
Patrick
the
Mah-
offensive coordinator.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
But I mean, obviously that's not as big of a deal. But then when he becomes a
but the head coach kicking the kicker, look where that led the Jaguars.
to
Just
another,
saying. Maybe everyone should draft a piece of shit college coach in order to
Wow.
rebuild their whole team.
But I think his past kind of hurts him, right? I mean,
yeah, he's got a history
you have
of, like,
sexual assaults and
yeah,
bribery charges. Like, I mean, that kind of hurts your.
he's got a pretty intense criminal history. I think that's really the big hang up on him is his criminal history. No matter how much nobody wants to admit it. Like,
Well,
what
hold
else
on.
is bad about him?
Hold on, I got to read this comment that just came in. Chris Jackson said, Leonard sitting there with his beard of shame is comedy gold. Just sitting
You're
there
welcome,
chilling.
Christopher Jackson. You are welcome.
Just sitting there taking it all in.
But yeah, so I think that's probably the big holdup. I think the really interesting candidate to me right now is Raheem Morris, and I actually really like Raheem Morris. I'm starting to like him a lot. He's got experience. I know he flopped in Tampa. I don't think he was given a fair shot, but he's done some pretty good things. He's got some experience. So I think that's a really interesting candidate. Obviously, my number one head coaching candidate for a while now has been DeMeco Ryans, so I'm glad that they finally asked for his interview. Yeah, I think I obviously want DeMeco Ryans, but we'll see. I don't really know who I want after that. We'll just kind of see who else they interview.
All right. Well, now to second place with the weird beard and all. Are you a
Yeah.
Titans commentator or a Texans commentator?
I'm Titans all day. You see the sign in the back?
But I see the beard too, so
So the
Yeah.
big-
Hey, you see, we're red, white, and blue too, homie. So I mean, let me add 3 stars and we're good.
So what's coming? I know there's a lot of rumors coming out of Titans camp. So what's the
There-
deal?
There's a lot
It's
of
way,
rumors.
it's way too early. Like the season isn't even over.
But you saw like at the end of the season when Amy fired the GM, you saw when she put out that letter, she's ready to compete. She sees what the Bengals, she sees what the Bills are doing, she sees what the Chiefs are doing, and she sees how our division is starting to get in place to everybody's getting their quarterback and their guy. We can't be sitting back here waiting no more. We gotta start taking some action, and that's one of the reasons why the GM was let go. But you can see that they're really trying to make a difference right now. They're really trying to do some things and work some things around. They're not going to sit around and wait last minutes like they were. So we got a lot of candidates we're going to interview for offensive coordinator, for GM as well. With a lot of rumors with the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on. Here's one that just came in for you. Titans should trade for Matt Ryan.
You just
Please take him. We'll give him to you for free.
what? No, absolutely not.
We'll give it to you free. No cost to you at all.
To
Look,
be
you
fair,
cannot
John,
drop him on our doorstep. No,
To be fair, John
will.
loves Matt Ryan more than he loves the Titans.
That's
so, I
true.
mean,
We'll
He's
put him at
done.
We'll leave him at Knoxville Fire Department and just walk away.
Matt Ryan don't have the power in his throws no more. He's done.
Or
But
Nashville
no,
Fire, Nashville PD. We'll drop him.
What were you saying before in pre-production, Matt? You were saying something about them interviewing some the Cardinals picked up some personnel from the Titans.
yeah, the Cardinals picked up. I have it picked up right here. Osenfort as the new GM.
Yep.
I guess he's like the assistant GM. So the Cardinals snagged him.
Yeah. So and then that's why they're kind of really
Oh,
like looking at Ryan.
He was
Coden.
he was the Easter bee of the Titans without the praying and baby mama drama. So
Oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got Ryan Coden that's in house, and that's who's doing it now, and everybody's wanting us to go kind of look outside. But from what I've been seeing too, he's one of the top candidates looking right now. So we might as well try to keep him around if he's somebody that can bring in talent. Because that running stuff is cool, and you got to have a run game to win games. But we can't just be run dominant like we have. We can't be the smash house football. We gotta be a little bit more athletic and a little bit faster, like Vrabel said out there. So there's a lot of rumors. I'm excited to see what we're going to do and what's actually true.
How do you feel about the Derrick Henry rumors that he's looking to get traded?
I don't think that there's truth to that, but I could understand that because he only got a little bit of a window left before he has to retire. And I'm sure he's wanting to get a Super Bowl ring. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I hope it's not true.
When's his contract up? Do you know?
I don't think maybe a year or two. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure.
Well,
but hopefully not, because that's something I believe like our offense we can build around, and hopefully him and Traylon Burks, because I don't think Malik Willis is it. He looks like don't have the progression. He looks like he's just happy to be there. He's not looking like he's taking too much serious. I mean, you just lost your job to a practice squad QB. You got to be doing something wrong.
Henry's last year under contract is 2023.
Okay, all right.
This year is his last year in his current deal.
He didn't look like terrible. He looked like a rookie that had no training, that nobody put proper training into.
No, because you could tell that they're coaching him, and he didn't throw for over 100 yards in 3 games. He didn't throw for 100 yards. He misses reads. He's hesitant on it. He's not checking down. He's not picking up blitzes and stuff. And there's a lot of times where he should be putting the ball on target, and he's just inaccurate. There's potential for him, but there was just so many things you could look out to the game and just nitpick so much.
Yeah, see, here's someone. I want to ask a question since we got fans from other teams. There's some talk about Titans blowing up the team. Henry getting traded. I want to know from y'all, what's his worth? What would you give up for Henry?
I honestly think Henry's value is more to us on our team than it is on the trading block. Honestly, we might trade him, but you got to look at him. He's an older back with a lot of carries, with a lot of yards on him and mileage. He came off of an injury. We're going to want a first round pick. We're not going to get a first round. We're going to get a second or third if we're lucky for him. And that's not work. He is a first round caliber type of player, but nobody trades for that from a running back. So I don't think we're going to get the value we'd want from him to necessarily blow it up and rebuild. So I think he's more value to us on the team.
Yeah, I think at most a second round this year and a third round next year, something like that. I wouldn't give up a first. I wouldn't. I'd love to have Derrick Henry on the Jags because what we don't have is that downhill sort of smash mouth runner now that the Jags got rid of James Robinson. So, yeah. But I think he's on the tail end. He's on the back half of his career. I don't want to say tail end because he could go for a few more years. But if they had tried to blow it up and trade him 2 years.
Whoa.
What just happened?
I have no idea, but
okay.
And
StreamYard just completely booted all of us. That was really weird.
It didn't boot the 2 bald-headed red guys. I mean,
yeah, that was really strange. It wasn't letting me
or is that just me?
No, it'd be the 3 of y'all.
Yeah, it was just the 3 of us.
Yep.
So strange.
Must be pro ginger. I don't know.
Oh God, they're starting to take over everyone. Be careful. All right. Anything else to add?
No, I'm just excited to see.
Excited to see.
Say, I think Henry's trade value has gone down. They had their opportunity to trade him, and they didn't do it because they could have gotten a first round for Henry. I think maybe last year, definitely the year before. They should have traded him if they were going to at this point.
Is Josh asleep or frozen? Oh, okay.
Both.
He said, "Bring Henry to the Jags," and God stop the stream. He said. All right. Well, if you have nothing else to add, let's get it on rolling to the winners.
Woo!
The AFC South Division champions.
Did anybody else watch America's team on Saturday night?
Watching them right now smoke Tom Brady.
I did.
No, that's the Cowboys. I'm talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. There was a couple of historic things that happened in that game. first thing I'd like to do is just show, this is very specific to the podcast. I just want to share my screen for a second and show something that now will live on forever in the history of the Jaguars and this podcast. Before the games, the Jaguars have a big banner that kids and people can sign in color. And on this banner for the Chargers Jags playoff game, first primetime game in the history, primetime home playoff game in the history of the Jags franchise, the world now knows that Sam has a deep and abiding love for Jalen Ramsey, who during the game started doing some late night are you up texts to Jacksonville, talking about, oh, my heart's still really in Jacksonville, and man, Jacksonville's still lit right now.
He's since deleted that one. He was saying something about Jacksonville being lit, and I retweeted it, and I said, when your ex sends you a late night are you up text, or I miss you text, because that's what he was doing to the Jaguars. No thanks, bro. Stay there.
And the 1 in a billion chance that Jalen Ramsey ever hears this episode of this podcast, let me just speak for all Jaguars fans and say, we're good, bro. Stay in LA. Keep your burnt toast self out there in LA. We're good. You had a chance to be the centerpiece of our defense for years. You chose Los Angeles. Sit in it, stew in it. It was always the Jags. It was never Jalen Ramsey. So moving on to Saturday's game.
Hold on, wait. Can I say one?
Continue.
Let me say one thing about that. When you showed that picture to me and my dad at the game, and you're like, "Oh, look," when you turned around, my dad goes, "That's not true, is it?" I was like, "No,
got him.
No, of course not."
Listen, Jalen, at the end of the day, you have a Super Bowl and Jacksonville still doesn't. So let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, hey,
the hate and ask comments are already coming in, just so you know, Josh. So before you dive in, I want to give you some ammunition. Okay.
Let's go.
Jaguars is a fluke team.
America's team. The USF Bills are more popular in JAGS.
Literally no one outside of 14 people in Tampa Bay knows that the University of South Florida has a football team, bro. So you can take that and stuff it right back into your tailpipe, buddy, because the
Jaguars
the Bulls suck. The Bulls don't even have their own stadium. They play in Tampa Bay Stadium. They play in Raymond James Stadium. You can run your mouth about the University of South Florida Bulls when they get their own building to play in.
The Jaguars are a fluke team.
Oh, no, the only thing that's a fluke team is your grammar. Jaguars is a fluke team. Come on, bro. Go back to your remedial English class.
We have another one. I don't know if this is good or bad. Josh, check your DM.
That's Cody.
Slide in your DMs.
Oh,
shout out to Cody was at the game. Cody somehow snuck his way into the Uber Prime seats that are down behind one of the goalposts. I was able to snag. I tell you the trick that I've learned in playoff games, and I'll give this away for free. What you do is get a standing room only ticket and wait until about 5 minutes before kickoff. And the price is on Ticketmaster. People start dropping those prices. Ticketmaster has a function where they let you let Ticketmaster auto price your tickets. And we got some premium seats for like $60, like down low, like
really
10 rows up from 10 rows up.
Saturday?
Yeah, on Saturday.
Nice.
So it was pretty sweet, man. We went in. Sir, I wear.
Stuff it in your tailpipe, there, buddy. He said as he adjusted.
I'm trying to keep
his
it family friendly. Well, I'm trying to keep my anger in check and keep it family friendly. Todd, listen, buddy, I got you a flag from that Titans game, so be nice to me, pal. I'll sell it on eBay for like $4 if you keep bothering me. And also, I just bought a pair of Skechers the other day, and I got to tell you, I felt like an old man, but they may be the most comfortable pair of tennis shoes I've owned in the last 10 years. So that makes me old. I guess I'm old. I don't know.
Actually, since we're talking about old man shoes, you should probably invest in a pair of Hokas if you've never heard of them.
That makes you feel good that I don't know what that is. Because that means
you've never heard of Hokas?
No.
Those are comfortable shoes. I'll send you a link with the pair.
All right.
I have these black ones. They're amazing.
I want to pretend like I'm too proud to wear those, and I only
Welcome
wear
to the AFC South Geriatric Podcast.
Here
we talk about tennies that are very comfy.
Next in our sneakerhead, in our newly found sneakerhead forum,
sneakers for senior citizens.
That's right. Instead of sneakers for preachers.
Seniorhead.com.
Sneakers for seniors.
Also immortalized on that same wall. This is what Cody was messaging me about. Is Jags by Fitty. That's what we put. And boy, was I feeling stupid after I wrote that on that board. Sitting there. Let's talk about the actual game for a minute. First thing I want to do, I've uploaded a video while we were here. I have been pretty infamous for hating on the Jaguars radio announcer, a man named Frank Frangie, but I'd like to play a video real quick here of the actual call. Well, actually, you know what? I didn't upload, so we're gonna skip that. I thought it works, but it didn't work. The radio call was amazing. The game was not amazing in the first half, right? That game, from the literal first play from offense, Trevor throws that pick. It's tipped by Joey Bosa, goes into the hands. 4 interceptions. I don't know that I've ever seen a quarterback look as bad as Trevor Lawrence looked, especially in the first quarter of that game. It was, nothing was going right. They couldn't run, they couldn't pass. They had a punt bounce off a guy's head, and then the Chargers pick it up. They gave the Chargers the ball inside the 30 like 3 times in the first half of that game. I just, Sam, what was your impression sitting in the stands? Because Sam and I were in totally different sections. The vibe in my section was just sort of it was like astonishment, oh no, and then like anger, and then like people just started laughing as things were going on.
So
what could you do?
I started out, I was live tweeting, and I said, this is embarrassing. And then my dad, who hasn't been to a game since COVID, I looked over at him and we just started laughing. Like, it was just funny. Like, I was just like, this is great. Like, what a time. My friend Chris that went with me got pissed and threatened to leave. And he was like, I'm not watching this. And he was like, I'm leaving. I was like, no, you're not. I texted him, get me a beer. You owe me a beer. So he comes back. I told him, I said, it's not over. The second half Jaguars are a way different team. It used to be the cardiac cats because the second half they would implode. They know how to make halftime adjustments now. It's a completely different team. Did I think that was going to happen? Did I think that was going to happen? No.
I will say it was bitterly cold in the stadium. Like, it was cold. Like, I brought some gloves with me, but when I took my gloves off to like use my phone and message people, like it was cold. There were 2 families that had little kids. One of them had a baby, and then the other one had a couple of kids that were like maybe 3 or 4. And right before halftime, like, they made a decision to bug out. And I get that. I respect that. When you got little kids and it's miserable and it's cold and the kids are already complaining and your team's getting trounced. But I will say the vast majority of the fans stayed in their seats. And they scored that touchdown at the end of the first half, and people started talking about the Vegas game against the Raiders, right? And then the other times that they've been down. And, you could sort of tell people, it was kind of tongue in cheek, but everyone's like, oh, they've been down before and they've come back. The game against the Cowboys, like all the different games where they've been down by a bunch of points and then come back. And then, I think the thing that's not talked about enough is in the midst of the 4 interceptions and the fumble turnover, at one point the Jags defense held the Chargers offense to 3 consecutive 3 and outs. They held them. That game easily could have been, honestly, we joke about Jags by 50. They could have hung 48 points on us in the first quarter or the first half of that game, and they didn't because the defense sort of stiffened a little bit. And then, you get to the second half and the Jags score another touchdown and they got 14 points. They scored another one. It's 21 points. Joey Bosa gets his first personal foul for what people are saying allegedly was him dropping a racial slur on the head referee.
That's what it looked like to me.
Brent, get out of here, Brent. You got nothing.
But the funny thing is people will come on Facebook and say this, but everyone in America, including NFL media, knows that you don't go on Twitter. And RJ from the Titans Coliseum would tell you the same. You just don't badmouth Jaguars fans. We are there is plenty of us. Just because you're just now hearing about us doesn't mean we haven't been here. We've had nothing to talk about. I'm the host. Let me stop talking. I hate that narrative, though.
The Jaguars are basically, like a prison. Like there's nasty and spiteful as like stepping into prison and then mouthing off to the biggest guy that you find there. Like, it's just not wise.
Didn't y'all get a sports writer or whatever canceled because they went like back to 2004 and found a racial slur? She said
It was
she
Annie
attacked.
Agar. It was Annie Agar, but she didn't
Uh,
get canceled. Everybody still thinks she's funny for some reason.
gotcha.
You don't
We
think
tried to
Annie
get her.
Agar is funny? She's
No.
hilarious.
No.
We have, we have caused many people
Okay.
to delete their Twitter accounts. I don't know about getting canceled, but a lot of people literally can't handle the fire in their mentions. When they piss off the Jags fans. But the second half of the game, slowly, like the tide began to turn, and the crowd was out of it for a while. They were there, but they weren't really. I don't know. It wasn't as loud as they were at the beginning, and rightfully so, because you'd get super loud on the third down, and then the Chargers would convert. And then you had at one point bonehead Trayvon Walker, who committed what had to be his fifth or sixth idiotic, roughing the passer, personal foul that extended a drive. But you get down to, the drive where the Jaguars go in and they score, and if they kick an extra point, they're down by 3, right? And Joey Bosa, again, for some reason, he's upset that supposedly Juwan Taylor false starts. And then he's upset that supposedly he also gets held, and he takes his helmet right in front of the side judge and just slams his helmet in the ground. And they didn't call a flag at that point. Then a staff member hands the helmet back to Bosa, and he throws it in onto the turf again, just like a child. And then that's when the flag comes out, and they move, basically like half a yard, away from the goal line. And Doug Peterson decides to go for 2. And I don't know about the rest of the stadium, but the people around me were angry. When they saw the offense come back out on the field, there was no happiness. People were like, kick the point, you idiot. Like, all we need is a field goal to tie it at that point. The mood in the crowd in my section was play for overtime at least. But Trevor Lawrence comes out there and uses his entire Ichabod Crane looking, Jack Skellington looking frame to put that ball over the goal line. And we're down now by 2. And just
I will say I knew the minute he spiked that ball that we were going to win that game.
Oh, the way he came out, he was, there was no, it just felt like fate at that point. Like nothing the Chargers were doing was working. But then it came down to 4th and 1, and they run the T formation, a football formation that was invented in the 40s that hasn't been used in the NFL in God knows how long. And Travis Etienne bounces it to the outside for 25 yards. I will say there was one moment of doubt in the second half for me on that same drive, on the field goal drive, that first down where Trevor threw it right into the hands of a – I'm surprised Peterson could walk. Yeah, Dragon is huge cojones off the field. Peterson doesn't flinch. And I think that's the thing you see with this team. They didn't flinch. They were down 27. They didn't give up. They didn't quit. And I think Rayshawn Jenkins said it best in his post-game interview. He said, what you got to understand is that the Jacksonville Jaguars are like cockroaches. You can't kill us. No matter what you do, we don't die. We don't give up. We don't go away. We're here all day. And I just think that was.
And the Jaguars concessions would know that.
That's good, but a bad, horrible analogy to use for yourself.
Yeah. Oof.
But I think they just, I think that's one of the things, though. They don't necessarily care too much about their image. It doesn't seem like they just want to get the job done. And he was doing it tongue in cheek, right? Like, I know he knew that was a weird, wacky analogy, but it just was, it was one of those things. It was very surreal, like in the stands, like, there was these weird little moments where they start playing Never Scared by Bone Crusher.
Everybody in the stadium,
which is the song that John Henderson specifically loved to have played when he used to play, and he was the one that got the crowd hyped up before the game started. And the whole crowd is just like singing that song, and then immediately the offense, the Chargers break the huddle, and they go from singing that song into just instant like screaming at the top of their lungs, like the crowd noise at the end was crazy. It was just a wild. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it unless you were in the stands. It's just hard to explain the roller coaster that was that game, because there were some moments, man, where even me, I'm super optimistic. I'm always like, keep the faith. keep chopping wood, all the crazy, stupid, silly things that people say. But there was a couple moments where even in the back of my head, I'm like, well, I guess, maybe we'll just get to sit back and watch a nice performance by, Justin Herbert. I was like, I'll tell my grandkids about, the one day that Justin Herbert carved us up like a rump roast. But Jags won going to Kansas City. So I don't know.
I think definitely Jaguars definitely deserve some praise, but those Chargers deserve some blame because they definitely did not play how they should have that second half. And they played like they deserved to lose that game because they didn't play like how they played that first half neither. If they would have continued to play how they did first half, they win that game. But I don't know what happened. But it seemed like after halftime they came back out and it's like they were defeated themselves and they still had a lead. So it was
weird. There was a couple of moments where if the Chargers literally made a yard, got a first down, the game's over.
Can I read this comment?
Yeah.
Cody says, Jags fans are like if driving to court for a suspended license was a person. We gonna show up.
I'm really surprised the head coach for the Chargers hasn't got fired yet.
Yes.
Oh, apparently he's not. Apparently he's staying.
I mean, that's fine with me.
But they're going to change the coaching staff.
No.
They need to find an offensive coordinator that can actually develop Justin Herbert because
and he started overthrowing.
Look,
he did. So in the first half, Justin Herbert was putting that ball in places where even me as a Jags fan, I was like, dang, it's just his night. Like, he's just having the game of his life. Well, I will say something happened. I don't know what happened in that locker room. The speech that Peterson gave because the Jags wide receivers in the first half are not getting separation. They come out in the second half and they're wide open. It's like they dug in. The Jaguars defensive backs were getting just eaten up in the first half, and you could tell that it's like the momentum just totally flipped. And it was just this weird thing. It almost felt like the Jaguars woke up in the second half, and that's sort of been the story of the whole year. They've been a second half team. They come out, they're playing with more intensity. They all of a sudden start getting pressure on Herbert. And a million things had to go right, exactly right, all in a row for the Jags to come back and win. And they did, but it was just, it was crazy.
Yeah. I want to say something real quick to Todd, and I want to address this because I'm seeing these comments about the Jaguars lost, the teams that they played have lost the game and the Jaguars didn't win. Nobody's saying the Jaguars didn't win these games, but these are not like games that you were down 10 or 12 to. There has to be a sense of both things occurring for the Jaguars to even have chances to win these games.
Well, and I think
you still had to go out there and win the game.
To be true. No, I agree.
Yes,
so they do
correct.
have to win the game. But those teams have to also do things to lose the game, especially when you're up 27.
Well, and I think what people are not, what's missing most people's heads, like whatever the guy's name is that was commenting earlier.
Brent Beard,
and a lot of the people like in the AFC South groups and stuff. Like the Jaguars didn't expect to be here.
Here we go. Here's
like nobody
story.
No, but it's true though. Like Leonard, you can attest to this. When you had Jags fans on your podcast after beating you guys, did the Jags fans expect to be in the position they are right now?
No, because we had y'all on beforehand, and there's no, y'all didn't think that y'all was going to be here.
So
we came on,
going into the playoff game.
We went on their podcast before the first time the Jags beat the Titans, not at the tail end of the run before the game at the end of the season. We're talking before,
correct.
The big one.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that like a lot of people are getting this like mixed up. Like Jaguars have, we all love our team. Like we've all loved a team that had one win, a team that had 2 wins, a team with Urban Meyer as a head coach. No matter what, we love the team. I think what people are missing is the fact that we true fans, like you have the bandwagon ones that are now coming in that are like, oh, it was always the Jags. It's like, really? Because I haven't seen you sitting in the stands this year. But like,
sorry.
But people are missing the fact that like even the Jaguars didn't expect to be here,
Yeah,
So-
no,
Yes. Yeah, no, and that's what I was trying to say. Like for them to like, no, I'm definitely saying like, the Jags went and won those games, but like just evaluating that game overall. After you're like, okay, Jags has won, you start looking and you like Chargers had plenty of opportunities to make throws that Herbert should make.
Yep.
They had plenty of opportunities
for
to
sure.
make stops, or the defense been making stops. Like they came out with a whole different type of heart, and that's all it was. So it's like the Chargers didn't play for 4 quarters to deserve to win that game, where the Jags did.
Todd Clary just said it perfectly. It was periodically the Jags.
Yes. Because I had to sell y'all on Zay Jones, and he came out and burnt us that week on the Titans.
Zay Jones had a lot of
admit one thing.
Yeah.
I was wrong about Christian Kirk. That I thought that was
Same.
the biggest bust signing I've ever seen. That dude has balled his ass off.
It's not
Every
bust. I
Ingram,
don't think
too.
he's.
I am sorry.
I don't
I'm
think
sorry.
he's still worth that contract, but he was worth a contract. But I still don't
that's
think he
what's
was worth
gonna-
that contract.
That's what's going to mess the Jaguars
balled
up
out.
coming into
Yeah.
these next couple seasons. Is
Correct.
I think currently it's like 14 million over the cap, and that's
Right.
with the cap going up. The cap's going up to 220 million.
I think
this
if you
year.
looking at it in hindsight now, like $14 million is a lot, but top tier wide receivers are getting like 20, 21 now. So
Can I say
And
something
it's
about the
kinda
game?
like-
though?
I think that's why they adjusted the cap. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I am glad that the Chargers blew a 27-point lead game because that takes all the heat off the Texans blowing the 24. So thank you, Jaguars. I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome.
You are awesome. Thank
See,
you.
that was the return of the favor for you guys beating the Titans for us. So here you
You're
go, bud.
Thank you.
It's all love, Todd. I love you too, man.
Yeah, I mean, so yes, there's an element of Jags playing with house money.
There we go.
Yes, there's an element of happy to be there sort of a feeling. But after what we've seen from this team the last 8-9 weeks, we're going to Kansas City. Yes, it will be tough to win in Kansas City. But if you sit here, I don't think there's a reasonable person alive that could sit here and say with 100% certainty that the Chiefs are just going to knock the socks off of the Jags.
Tanner will
and beat them
prove you
guaranteed.
wrong.
There is
Tanner,
There's
a
one person
chance.
that thinks they will.
Well,
Tanner Doty.
the Colts beat Kansas City.
Yeah,
The
and
Tex-
we won 4 games. So
The Texans
I've-
took Kansas City into overtime.
Yeah.
But
And
then
I'm
the
not-
Titans
I'm
and
not-
Jags lost to
I'm
them.
not
so-
guaranteeing. I'm not guaranteeing a victory, but
Haven't y'all
if
played
we
them?
were down by 27, we've been down with all these other things. We had a terrible offensive night against the Titans to win the division. Like all these different things have happened, and the Jags have still found a way to win. I am confident that they have a chance to win that game. But people
I just
get
really
people,
hope-
people say you're a bad fan, or that it's bad to say. Even if they don't win on Saturday, I have zero complaints about this
You've got
season.
a lot to
If
look
they-
forward to. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing that me and my dad said. We're just happy that we actually made it to the playoffs on our way. But I will say, I think if the Jaguars lose Saturday, it's because of one reason only.
They were on the road.
No, because Trevor Lawrence ate Waffle House.
Oh.
What?
I
Oh.
also
Oh no.
I also ate Waffle House to celebrate a victory, and I haven't recovered since.
Oh wow.
'cause you're
I
weak.
wouldn't recommend Waffle House.
You're
to
weak.
anybody.
Get
But,
your weak digestive
the-
system off this show.
Well, the one thing that I'd be curious, and I kind of hope the Jags win because I don't care about the Chiefs. The only thing that the Jags don't have going for them this week, if they are down by a lot, is they're not at home. I do think that does play a factor.
Yeah, and I would just like to give a quick mention to Colin Cowherd, who said that the Jags have maybe the worst home field advantage in the entire league. Just go jump in a lake, pal, because
Go jump in our
watch.
pool.
Yeah.
People go
There's
jump in
no.
our pool.
People
And
still
I would
listen
honestly
to
love to have everybody, like all the people that come on this show, come to a game in Jacksonville that's a meaningful game where there's
trying.
something on the line, and experience what it was like. And I'm sure that other stadiums are just as good, right? Like I'm not dissing anybody else's fan base, but like we take so much flack from people who are ignorant about what it's like in that stadium when the crowd is there, and it's aggravating to me because the last 2 weeks in that stadium have been amazing. But yes, that is the big question mark, Harish. When they go into a hostile environment like what the other teams have come into, will they function as well?
Right.
Especially Trevor Lawrence, will he function? Because if Trevor Lawrence plays like he did in the first half of this game, we're done. The team goes as Trevor Lawrence goes. When he is on and he's hitting and the offense is moving, they can compete with any team in the league, in my opinion.
I agree.
But when
I agree.
when he is off, you know, they're not going to win. They just aren't. Like he is the linchpin now, and that's how you know you're on the verge of somebody who could be your franchise quarterback. When he is so good that when he plays at his best level, that your team can hang with anybody. You know, you're on that verge of like, is this guy a real tried and true franchise QB? And you know, it'll be another
My
test.
thing is,
First of all, I don't know if you saw in one of Todd Clary's earlier comments, he said he was going to withhold comment for 5 minutes because of the towel.
Yeah,
So
I did
he
see that. I appreciate that, Todd.
Okay, so now his narrative is, "Go jump in a lake, pal," he said on his way out of Radio Shack.
My crazy thing is people still listen to Colin Cowherd. I mean,
I used to love Colin Cowherd.
I do. I don't like him, but I like to listen to him just to hear his like opinion
say
on
stupid
some shit.
I mean,
But I don't agree
used
with a
to
lot of
love-
this shit. But it's like you like to hear the opposite side sometimes.
Yeah.
I will say that comeback was very reminiscent of the Andrew Luck comeback.
Yeah, it
against
was.
the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well, and that was
And
the
the
second. That was the
and the-
second, right? Second best comeback, and the Jaguars made the third.
behind
behind the Bills and the Titans.
behind Bills and Titans. Then it was that Colts Chiefs, and then now this.
Look at the AFC South.
Very, very reminiscent of that game, and Trevor, I can finally say, is heading in the same trajectory.
Trevor's going to be good, but like I was saying, like I told y'all a couple of times before, like because I've watched Trevor since high school, from like QB1 Netflix series to the college stuff, all that. I've been watching him. Like he's not a quick progressor, but you best believe he's going to be there and work on whatever he needs to, and it might take a little bit of time. But once he gets there, he's going to be a threat. Because when he showed up to QB1, he was the last ranked QB, and by the time that series was over, he was ranked number one. He worked his ass off.
Yeah, his work ethic is unparalleled, and
they've got to continue to build around him too, because I think they've done a great job around that. Yeah. They've got to continue to build around him. And
when Harry saw that comeback, he thought Trevor Lawrence was Kirk Cousins out there.
Bro,
well, guys, if nobody has anything else to add, does anybody have anything else to add?
I'm ready to go watch this off.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
I need a head coach. D'Amico, give me a shout out.
Well, go ahead and tell us where to find you, Leonard.
You can find me on all social media platforms: Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook at 1L Firestone.
Where do we find you, Harish?
At the Uncle Gandhi on everything. GHANDI.
Matt?
A1 Day 1 Texans, and on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, Texans playing battle. I do. I keep it strong,
Josh, where do we find you?
On Twitter, Josh Gives Up. This Thursday, probably 9 o'clock, we're doing the first edition of the Jaguar in a while. We're going to talk about the success over the past few weeks. So,
the first. Sorry.
Well, you can find me at Sammy Football with an I on Twitter, and of course, Talking Crap in the AFC South Fan Battle group. And of course on the Jaguar when Josh Allen invites me. So
it's with this.
Make sure to check out Titans Coliseum too.
Did you not shout him out?
No,
what day? What night are y'all live?
Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m. Central Time.
Sorry, I didn't hear that you didn't shout him out because I tend not to listen when you talk.
Get mail out
Jaguar. I'll make you co-host if you just tell the world that you love Jalen Ramsey. Just say it.
I'm not going to say it.
You can't come on my show.
Don't forget about the You Don't Know Jack podcast.
Do you see this? You see this?
Oh yeah, the You Don't Know Jack podcast. What day? They're Tuesday or Wednesday? I forget.
Tuesday nights at 8:30.
Yep. Tuesdays 8:30.
8:30 Central. Sorry. And,
yes, 9:30 Eastern.
Sam, Matt, and I have to talk about this. There might be another podcast coming to the network.
Oh, fresh and upcoming.
Hosted by me.
Sir, we don't. We already have a Jaguars podcast. You can't jump ship now.
Sorry.
Please,
sorry.
Please let me start it. He's gonna just.
I'm gonna call it the Cancel the Jags podcast.
Boo.
Shit.
Well, guys, we thank you for tuning in this evening. Make sure you check out also on Twitter the Fan Battle Sports page, and that there you can see all the podcasts. They stream live on there, and hopefully We'll have an episode next week and recap. Well, no, not hopefully. We will have an episode next week to recap this game, but hopefully that's not the end for the Jaguars. So we thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Hit me up, D'Amico.